All right, folks, it is June 21st, 2023. Just tweeting this session out, making sure that everybody gets it back up in here. We are back in the studio, back from Dallas. A lot to cover. This is going to be a long episode because we got so much to cover. I took a weekend away here with the family for Father's Day, back in the studio. So much has happened just in the past few days. So we're going to get tuned back in here, guys. I wanted to start out, though, by giving a special shout out to our Discord community. Got to have another Discord meetup down in Dallas. And then our Discord community went and met up with Jake Claver and the Beyond Broke Mastermind. Fantastic group, high quality conversations and folks. And I'm really excited to nurture these relationships and see where this goes. Folks, but what an exciting time to be tapped in with like-minded individuals on the same purpose and mission to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. So if you're looking to get in touch with our group, if you're looking to join us for the next meetup, we're already planning our next one. It's something different to actually get in person, to shake someone's hand, give someone a hug, put a face to a Discord username in your guys' little Anon accounts. You guys like to hide in the shadows here. Much love to the Discord group for coming through, though. The support has been incredible. So huge shout out for all of those of you that have been here for 2 years now in our Discord community. And the meetup was fantastic. Joining up with the mastermind, amazing. And I'm really excited to see the momentum that we have and where this is going to take us over the next few years, guys. So with that being said, head on over to zachrector.com after this session if you want to join our Discord group and get tapped in. We would love to have you. Now, with that being said, guys, we got a lot to cover. June 21st, 2023. If you guys can do me a favor, please smash this thumbs up. Let's share this video far and wide, and let's get rocking and rolling because we got a lot to get through, folks. Hope you have a large cup of coffee. God bless you all. Let's get it. Okay, so market's back up. Let's take a look here, and we see Bitcoin back up above 29K for a brief moment. 28,889 is what we're pulling right now for Bitcoin. 1816 for Ethereum, and XRP's at 49.17, just under that 50-cent level. Let's take a look at the sticks. As we see Bitcoin approaching 29K here, got up to 29.2 this morning. Watching the pump start to take place over the past couple days. Okay. And we're going to get into the news and why this is happening, right? Nice little setup, another little bull trap rally taking place here, in my opinion. And I may actually be looking to enter my next short. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Now, let's get started off, though, folks. Current events, cryptocurrency, and the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. The corruption, the crimes, they are getting exposed, and we're starting to see some things start to happen here, folks. But what we see here is, once again, Pentagon has said that an accounting error has provided an extra $6.2 billion for Ukraine. That's how off we are on the accounting, right? God forbid we're a little bit behind on our taxes. God forbid we pay the wrong amount. Even if we overpay, we get in trouble, right? But our Pentagon finds another $6.2 billion when you're wasting hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars. It's easy to lose 6.2 billion, right? So, and I know a lot of you guys were worried that we weren't going to have any more money to send over there. Don't worry. Another 6 billion. We found it. And I think that I actually saw before I was firing up this session that another 1.3 billion's been approved. Who knows where they're coming up with this, right? Just printing it out of thin air, making it rain on this country over there as we watch the war continue, the counteroffensive get shut down, actually. But we're just going to continue to watch that situation, and we continue to pray for peace, and we continue to pray that eventually our government is going to get brought back to their senses. We see this news coming out yesterday. Joey Manarino shares this. Andrew Tate is trending at #1 for being arrested, but you know who else was charged today and isn't trending? That would be the president's son, Hunter Biden. Happy Father's Day, Dad. Happy Father's Day. I've signed a plea deal, Dad. Don't worry. All the deals are good. Okay, we're going to keep it flowing to the big guy. Hunter Biden, whose laptop had, we can't talk about it. We can't talk about it. It is that bad. You can't talk about it. It's that bad what this kid has committed. Crimes against humanity. But let's pick it up right here. Lying on a federal firearm background check form is a felony that carries up to 10 years in prison, but not for Hunter Biden. So is it clear yet? We're not playing in a fair game anymore. Any news we consume has been sanitized for our protection, or rather for the protection of, I would not just say the Democrats, but of the incumbents, right? The powers that be. Because, fun fact, they don't need our votes to stay in power. They just have to use their state media to demonize us and make us unelectable by the masses. We never would have known of any of this if it were not being Hunter being I can't talk about it. But I guess it's easy to do that when you know you'll never have to face justice for any of it. So on one end here, they have Andrew Tate is hitting the headlines, Andrew Tate going viral, right? To distract from little Hunter. To distract from our president's son and the crimes, the bribery that's still going to be investigated. And many people think that, this is it. This is going to be done and going away. They have no idea what they're in store for. And now, whoa. Before you guys come at me in the comments for coming after the Democrats, like I said, in that tweet, he said that the Democrats, and I said, let's not just include Democrats, let's include all incumbents, the powers that be. Both sides have sold us out. They're trying to lie to us through their media machine. And the manipulation is bad. That's bad enough. But folks, if you think that these little petty crimes that he's getting charged with is the worst of it, you got a whole nother thing coming when they finally do lift this veil. And that's what's about to occur, in my opinion, folks. And it's happening. It's accelerating at a rapid pace right now. Check this out, folks. So Robert Barnes says this: as a criminal tax lawyer for a near quarter century, I can confirm how rare and extraordinary the Hunter Biden plea deal is. Indeed, the deal violates Department of Justice tax official policy, where Biden's DOJ prohibit prosecutors from even offering this deal to people who did far less than Hunter. Right. And now remember, we have 87,000 new IRS agents as well. Yeah, they're going to be coming for you, just like they did over the weekend when they raided that one gun owner. That was in Montana, I believe. But nonetheless, this is an interesting twist, because if an investigation isn't pending any longer, then the Department of Justice can't stiff-arm those looking for more information, as the case isn't an ongoing investigation. Now, it's kind of like the SEC, right? They won't comment on ongoing litigation. Same thing here with the Department of Justice. They won't comment, and they'll stiff-arm those who are looking for more information on an ongoing investigation. Well, now that Mr. Little Hunter has signed a plea deal, well, let's open up this can of worms, huh? Perhaps that was the point all along. Yes, Hunter is a complete degenerate, but what if he's been working with white hats for some time now? I reckon what we think we know and what's actually going down are rather different things. The question is, by how much? Now, what we're talking about here, folks, is that John Durham about to testify. You're about to see a lot take place here. A lot's going to be exposed. A lot's coming out in these House hearings. We just had a motion for impeachment from Lauren Boebert. Is that how you say your name? I don't know. Lauren, the politician there from Colorado. She filed articles of impeachment again, right? They filed this a few times, I feel like. But on this one, they actually get to see each member has to vote on this impeachment vote that she's brought to the House floor. So we're about to see it continue to accelerate. And if you look at this, Mr. I says on 6/22, we have a big day. Trump can tweet his deal with Truth Social is up. So is Mr. Trump going to return back to Twitter and fire it up? We have Durham testifying. The Brunson case did not go away. Now, many of you guys in my community understand what the Brunson case is. You know about it. I would encourage folks to take a look at it. I would encourage folks who don't know about that case to take a look at it, because it's all part of a big unraveling, a lifting of the veil, some might call it. And we might as well throw in the Ripple case end at any day now. And I was thinking about this last night. Think of what they're going to do to distract us from the Ripple case concluding. Whether that's a settlement, whether that's summary judgment. They'll probably have distractions on both days if that's 2 different days, 2 different events, right? The summary judgment ruling can drop at any day. A settlement obviously could follow up at any day as well. What are they going to do to distract us from that news, right? But we bring it back to the current events and what's being brought to the House floor, what's being brought to the public record, what the mainstream media can no longer deny, what we were called crazy conspiracy theorists for, right? Well, we got disavowed by our family members, by the masses who thought we were just crazy for talking about our president. He's now our president and his son, what they did. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, the tax evasions and the little gun charge. Are you kidding me? No, we don't need to waste our time going after Hunter for that. We have a whole other thing that we need to do here, exposing these crimes that are sick, that I can't even show or talk about. It's truly unbelievable, right? And now we see the masses getting caught up here. They're lifting that veil slowly over there for the mainstream media and the folks that are still getting manipulated by that machine. But it's happening rather quickly. It's being brought to the House floor. A lot of people don't understand our laws, this process, what's taking place. And for the outsiders looking in at us crazy XRP guys, and we're talking with Jimmy Valley, we're talking about protecting our assets, we're talking about our corrupt government, and all these people from across the pond or overseas are looking at us, and they're, what's the deal with all this stuff? It's part of saving our country. And see, this is all tied back in together. And so for the outsiders looking in, pray for us. We're trying to save our country. That's what's taking place right now. Much bigger than the XRP lawsuit, has nothing to do with the buyback. We tie this thing back to literally crimes against humanity, corruption, bribery schemes, the worst corruption that we've seen in probably the history of this country is getting exposed right now. So give us a minute. Give us some time. 2 years in a Ripple lawsuit doesn't matter, guys. Doesn't matter. It's not stopping you from taking action and taking advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history, which started under President Trump. And in my humble opinion, will finish under President Trump when he comes back, right? That's just putting it out there for the historical record. Let's see what happens. Make your bet. If you guys want to bet on it, we can go to Casino Coins. They're about to launch the P2P bets, peer-to-peer bets. So we can go place a bet, right? My task here is to break down this current events, talk about this corruption, but then how do we position ourselves and align ourselves accordingly to take advantage of this corruption getting exposed and a new system rolling out. The process is painful, right, guys? This is the birthing of a new system. These are the birthing pains right now that we're going through. And so, like I said, people from across the pond might not understand. That's fine, okay? We just ask, please pray for us and give us some time while we try to save our country, okay? Now we continue on. We're going to cover a few points here on my good friends up north to the north of us up there in Canada. Okay, a couple points on you guys. This is unraveling rather quickly up there. Vince Gaetano. The COVID business loans are all due in 6 months in order to have up to a third forgiven. How many will be repaid? Government's $50 billion loan program coming due, but many businesses can't pay. Now, this was just one of the additional government programs that was launched up there in Canada, and apparently in less than about 6 months here, you can have up to a third of it forgiven, okay? But after that, I was reading this article, after that, you're going to start accumulating 5% interest. So we had similar programs down here in the United States as well, over in Europe, of course, and what we're seeing now is the payments are coming due, and if you haven't paid, now we're going to start tacking on interest, making this whole thing so much worse, right? What we unlocked was Pandora's box in 2020 and the simulations that started to get fired up during 2020. Now we see them continuing as far as the debt crisis continuing. Well, here we see it coming to a close. And now you're going to start accumulating interest. At the same time, it's getting reported that credit card balances grew by 15% and lines of credit by 11%. Head of Commercial Solutions at Equifax Canada said the shift is alarming. Quote, "It's not something we've seen in the past few years. This is kind of like an early warning indicator." You bet. You bet. We've been talking about it. We've been warning. They didn't want to call it a recession because it offended some folks. Well, we didn't care about hurting your feelings. We wanted to share facts. We wanted to save you. National average price to come back down to $500K, a fall of $200,000 with these rates and upcoming unemployment recession. Now, this would be the average residential price up there in Canada, falling back down to $500,000 potentially. This is here shared by Geoeconomic. I think a national average house price decline of $200,000 is reasonable at this point, given interest rates, upcoming recession, etc., would bring us close to $500K. John Flynn, Real Estate Stats shares. Similar situation here in the United States. Our median price, I believe, is about $400,000. In my area, it's upwards of $500,000. Just got back from the Dallas real estate market, Dallas, Fort Worth. Drove around looking at a lot of properties here as well. A lot of construction. Holy smokes! And in a whole other video, I'm going to be talking about what I observed in Dallas, what I'm looking at in the next real estate update. So I'm going to share some on that. But what we're seeing here, folks, is the economy starting to change, starting to flip here finally. They're admitting it, right? We've been covering it, but now they're finally admitting it. And now we see these expectations, this credit crunch, the loans coming due here in the United States. Now the forbearance for the mortgages has end. So we're seeing the same situation along with the student loan debt. Student loan debt now due. And a lot of kids had been playing. They've been chasing memes. They've been chasing Dogecoin. And now the loans come due. Now, fun fact from table salt here, this is very interesting to me as far as people getting trapped in this debt, these mortgage programs getting extended out and really starting to trap people. And you have to understand, too, that in the United States, we have a special deal with that 30-year fixed rate mortgage. A lot of countries don't have that. And that's what's starting to come due here in Canada is the amortization. The amortizations are coming due where you have to come in every 5 years and get a new loan. They don't got 30-year mortgages. But fun fact Tuesday from Table Salt, if you have a 7% mortgage on a 40-year amortization, you pay for your house 3 times over. So that average home price, $700,000 in Canada, you're going to pay that 3 times over, right? Before you're done on the 40-year amortization schedule. If you have a 6.33% on a 25-year amortization, you pay for your house twice over. So now that we're seeing mortgage rates up here in the United States, 6-7%, right? You really run the numbers. And this is what I've been looking at. And they say, obviously, if you bought your house in cash, you pay for your house once. This thing has gone crazy. In the programs and everything that took place over the last 2-3 years, I hope you enjoyed it while it lasted, right? Now, this isn't to say that they're not going to continue. You're starting to see the same practices that brought us into the bubble last time around in 2006, 2007, 2008 are being re-implemented. 40-year loans, ninja loans, no income, no verification, no job, no nothing. Just breathe and be able to scribble on an ink of paper. You can sign the contract type of deals, no down payments, all sorts of stuff coming back. So there's not to say that they won't continue this on a little bit further, but I hope that everybody's enjoyed that equity that they've built up in the real estate market. Now it's starting to get reset, and you're looking at deals that don't rely or can't rely on all these assistance and all these programs like the commercial real estate, the office buildings. Absolute sacrifice. I mean, 50, 60, 70, 80% price declines in some markets, right? These inner cities, some of them are getting gutted in the office and commercial real estate space. They don't have these programs. So this is what's interesting to watch, and as this whole thing, unfolds, is who's getting assistance, who gets to take advantage of the programs, when are those ending, when are those coming due, and then you have to watch if the government comes out and says, okay, no, we're going to kick the can down the road again, we're going to allow our lenders to offer up a new practice. But what's happening is these banks, the regional banks did a lot of the commercial real estate, and a lot of the real estate mortgages are done through these smaller banks. They're starting to fold. So this is the problem, is that even though all of these programs are being allowed, right, and they've eased up, they're starting to fold, right? The bank runs are continuing. I covered there's another 79, nearly 80 billion that exited the banking system last week. So it's a matter of dying out by continuing to take on these bad loans, these bad programs, right? So they are available. They are coming available. I'm not saying that you should take advantage of the 40-year mortgage. I'm saying that you should watch out for this. And those that are going to get caught up in this are getting completely exposed, right? So this is all more the opportunity for us, our community, to continue moving in. We see the same thing taking place in the car market, the auto market as well. Negative equity surges. More consumers find themselves in underwater auto loans. So same thing. And it was easy to roll it off the lot when the interest rate on that car loan was 2 or 3%, right? Now, and the prices were justified, right? Because your $60,000 new Suburban or whatever it may be, you can't get a new pickup truck for anything less than $50,000, even if it's a dang gasser, right? But any of these pickup trucks, 50, 60,000, right? The payment was affordable at a 2% rate, right? And that's the thing, is folks were just racking up these payments while the times were good. And those that have good fixed debt on cash flowing property, on a work truck that pays your income, right? That's great. That's great, because you're able to afford your payment, and you are beating inflation in real terms and nominal terms, when inflation's running at, well, they tell us, right, the CPI lie, we're down to 4 or 5%. Okay, well, even still, inflation's back at 4 or 5%, according to them. You're still locked in at that 2-3% mortgage, that 2-3% auto loan, right? And if it's making you money, then that's good debt, right? Where people are getting caught up is in the bad debt. And that's where you're seeing the consumer credit, the lines of credit for the businesses, people trying to stay afloat, the student debt coming due here in the United States. See, this is starting to pick up rather quickly. And folks, we've been talking about it. We've been staying liquid. I got my deal where I'm trying to buy my personal home, so I'm staying liquid for down payment on a house, being able to fix up. In my market, you get a $600,000 fixer-upper. So, you got to have a down payment. You got to have 50 grand to fix her up. You got to have even more than that to cover it. And at these current interest rates, you'd be shelling out 4 or 5 grand a month for the average home in my community where I come from. So that's the situation where folks are going to get themselves caught in this even worse by stepping into bad debt or not getting out of the bad debt as this recession picks up, as the economy starts to die off, as the programs start to end. So we've been talking about this. I hope that you guys have been preparing right there with me, staying liquid, staying ready, and making sure that we're going to keep bringing it in. And then if possible, let's expand that income. We're going to need it to survive inflation, and we're going to need it to buy some more of the suppressed assets that the Wall Streets and the big boys are picking up as we start to see the SEC weaponized attack against us underway. So let's see this next article. One final point on real estate from Amy Nixon. Housing starts jump increased sharply, 1.63 million annual rate in May. So housing starts with a huge beat, but why? Builders have a business to run. They have to build and sell homes or they don't make it. They'll buy down rates or offer incentives. They're doing what they need to do to survive. If you put a fish in water with sharks, its choices are to try to swim to safer waters or stay still and die. It swims, they build. And this is our opportunity, guys. This is absolutely our opportunity. Whether you want to go buy a fixer-upper because you got those skills, I'm seeing in my market, in many markets, the fixer-uppers right now, the properties that need work and people need to sell, those are taking drastic drops in price, right off the top, huge drops. Then we can go beat up the builders too if you want to go buy brand new, because these guys can do different incentives, buy down your rate. And so this is a perfect opportunity for those of us that are ready to buy. Right? Is there still more pain to come? Yes, I do believe so. Does that get accounted in for in my lowball offer? And as my mentor Dan Pena calls it, a disrespectful offer? Yes, right. And I'm not here to be disrespectful to anybody, right? But the facts remain. The builders have more room to work. The builders can help you out. So when I say we go beat up the builders, I'm talking about go work with them, right? They need us. And what I just witnessed in Dallas, Texas has the most amount of home starts taking place right now. And we went and witnessed that. And it is embarrassing what is comparable to where I'm at versus there. 500 grand in my market gets you a 1,500. They're just under 1,500 square foot because of the different regulations and permits. So they're just under 1,500 square foot, 530,000. 530K in Dallas, Fort Worth metros gets you, at least 3,000 square feet brand new in a nice community. I was very impressed. Not so much with the weather and the humidity that had me melting, and I'm very soft when it comes to that heat and that humidity, so I was melting in that regard. But as far as the real estate, holy cow, which looked like much more quality projects, much more quality, cleaner communities versus up here in the Pacific Northwest. You get a little 1,500 square foot box, and you got to watch your dog because if he steps out too far, he might piss on your neighbor's yard. That's what's being built up here and offered up here. It was embarrassing. But what we're seeing right now, guys, is a perfect opportunity for those of you that are ready. Maybe you sold off some of your real estate investments and now you have equity. Maybe you just have a couple properties, right? You've built up that equity. Now's the time to position your capital in a way to move on more deals as they start to come online here. For first-time homebuyers like myself, we can go negotiate with the builders. For the rest of you guys, investors, these guys that are trying to sell properties that need work, they really are going to have to come down quite a ways on a lot of these properties. And that's what we're seeing. And that's what the opportunity we have here for ourselves right now. Something that we were talking about in our Discord meetup this past weekend, and we've been talking about in the Discord group, is assembling. I'm building out the infrastructure for our real estate fund. So I want to be able to move in during this time and build my real estate portfolio from the ground up. And I want to be able to take my Discord community along with me. So right now I'm building a team. And basically we're assembling big hitters alongside of us to move in on these deals, not just with capital, but with experience. And so I'm really looking forward to this opportunity. The dynamics, the setup here is absolutely perfect for that. But let's continue on here, folks. We got to get into it. As I said, the big boys, the BlackRocks, are ready to move. They're getting exposed. I'm about to show you guys that. But we have a front-running opportunity right here for all of us to get in, and we've got in before you have the biggest groups in the world signing up for their ETFs and signing up to move into the crypto space in a major way. And they have trillions of dollars, okay? They move and handle markets that are in the quadrillions of dollars, right? And in my opinion, all of this gets rolled in to tokenized DLT, NFTs, some sort of digital money, right? This all rolls over and all runs on the technologies that we are investing in right now. This opportunity is fantastic. So let's get right on into it, folks. We got a lot to cover here still. Let's get it rocking and rolling. BlackRock Recruiter, who decides people's fate, spills info on companies' world impact. He says, it's not who the president is, it's who controlling the wallet of the president. You got 10K, you can buy a senator. Now that's pretty embarrassing. I mean, that's pretty sad to think that 10K can buy off one of these senators. Shows you just how broke they are and that the only way that they do make their money is by selling out our country. And then he also goes on to say that war is real effing good for business. Now, this is coming out from Project Veritas. They're capturing this recruiter for BlackRock. So I'm sure BlackRock will come out and say that this guy's views don't represent the real strategies of BlackRock. But with that being said, it must be good for business because we see that BlackRock gets $500 billion deal to rebuild the Ukraine. What a spontaneous and shocking coincidence, right? Folks, it's happening right now as we see. And right now, they're putting their goons on us. And that would be in the form of the SEC getting granted here. The Third Circuit has ordered the SEC to update the court on whether it has decided to grant Coinbase's petition for rulemaking in October. If the SEC says that it hasn't decided by then, the odds swing in favor of Coinbase. So the SEC going after Coinbase. Coinbase filed their motion, right, to basically get a response from the SEC providing clarity. And so now this court has ordered the SEC. They have up to due in 120 days the report from Coinbase. Okay, so we're going to see if that leads anywhere. We're going to watch that one. Thousands of Bitcoin owned by the U.S. government that were seized from Silk Road are now on the move. Will they be dumping? Likely. And I want everybody to remember that we've had this happen before in the past. The news comes out of the ETFs. Oh, they're signing up for an ETF. Oh, they're interested in crypto. I'm about to show you guys. They're all coming in, but this can also be a setup for exit liquidity before they send the market down lower. Remember, we live in a bubble in the crypto world, right? We're in a crypto echo chamber. So anything that can be spun any sort of way bullish, we spin bullish. We make a clickbait. We make an O face. We are in the crypto bubble. But the greater macro forces that are taking place in the economy will bring us back down again, in my opinion. And they have used this as exit. I mean, they use this for exit liquidity time and time again. And the news of the ETFs coming out has already been used in the past before. So be ready for that. Now, you also, and we've been watching this, thousands of Bitcoin being released by the, or owned by the U.S. government that were seized from Silk Road are now on the move. So the Bitcoin's coming back to the Silk Road, folks, a lot of it. And then we're seeing that the U.S. government has been dumping a massive amount of Bitcoin as well. But this is on the news that Citadel, Fidelity, and Charles Schwab to launch new crypto exchange platform EDX Markets. Just a week ago, the SEC sued Binance and Coinbase, two of the world's largest crypto exchanges. The next few months are going to be really interesting for crypto investors. As you guys know, NASDAQ is about to do custody solutions. Germany bank Deutsche Bank is also looking at crypto custody as well. 1.5 trillion asset manager Invesco reactivates spot Bitcoin ETF filing. MasterCard files a trademark application to introduce software for cryptocurrency and blockchain transactions. Do you see the trend, folks? Wisdom Tree files for spot BTC ETF today. Wisdom Tree is invested in a company called Securrency that used Ethereum, Stellar, Ripple, EOS, and other distributed ledgers with legacy systems for the tokenized issuance of trading securities and seamless on-chain and off-chain movements of tokens. And so it's coming, guys. $87 billion Wisdom Tree. That's tiny, right? 87 billion Wisdom Tree, that's small. Because we look at the likes of this $1.5 trillion Invesco, okay? But then you look at this, folks. Vandelay BTC Industry shares this, and he puts the hashtag Bitcoin. These guys think that Bitcoin is the answer. Okay, I do think that you're going to see Bitcoin make another run for sure. Is it the long-term solution? Different conversation. But this is the first time in history the common man can still front-run trillionaires. But make no mistake, the window of great opportunity might start closing soon. And you see this. 9.6 trillion for BlackRock assets under management. 8.1 trillion for Vanguard. 4 trillion for Fidelity. 4 trillion for UBS, 4 trillion for State Street, 3.3 trillion at Morgan Stanley, 2.9 at JP Morgan. Jamie Dimon and his buddies, they got little bags, only 2.9 trillion. And you guys see the rest of the list there, all 2 trillion, all the way from Goldman Sachs, BNY Mellon, all the way to PIMCO. Trillions upon trillions getting ready to come on into this space. We see the news from the IMF that they're looking at more of a universal ledger, right? And we have to bring back up the fact that the IMF silently recognized XRP in 2018. International Monetary Fund began helping governments develop central bank digital currencies, but XRP was always in the loop. This article from CoinGate, did you know IMF silently recognized XRP in 2018? Well, we did, because we're in the XRP community, we're tapped in, and we've been following this story for a while. And XRPJB says this: once Ripple cuts ties with this lawsuit, win or lose, they're about to take this financial system to a new level. Ripple's Antoinette O'Gorma presenting to the IMF on cybersecurity XRP Ledger Plus, quote, Ripple is the only company that monitors and reports suspicious activity on the blockchain. This came after the 2015 settlement with FinCEN, where XRP was declared a virtual currency, and FinCEN is Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. And so ever since then, Ripple has had to do KYC of everybody. They've had to been watching and monitoring the blockchain activity, and they've been doing so in a way to come into compliance. That didn't stop the staged lawsuit from getting filed. But when you talk about the opportunity for front-running trillionaires in the window, the opportunity, the gap is closing, it is not more pressing in any other asset. I mean, you guys know I love my silver, I love gold. I think that something's happening there with the supply shock incoming, but no asset compares to XRP in the story, in the window of opportunity closing quickly, because we have a staged lawsuit that's coming to an end at any moment in time. We have a supply shock that I believe is coming to the exchanges. When you look at what Ripple just did this last month, instead of releasing about 20-30% of the XRP that was given to them in the escrow at the start of the month, they only released and sold off about $100 million worth of XRP, or 100 million XRP, I should say. So every month they get released $1 billion. Typically, they return about 70 to 80% back, and they sell off or release or start to circulate or start to use, and they're only selling it to their on-demand liquidity institutional partners, of course, not coming to exchanges. But this last month, they kept 90% of it for themselves, and they only released 100 million. And you're starting to see that this setup's very clear, as other exchanges, if you go look at their wallets, running short on XRP. There's not that much, right? And we've done the on-chain data. We've looked at the chain analytics, right? There's not much XRP out there, right? Now, that's not to say that Ripple couldn't turn around and start dumping $1 billion every month, right? But would that work into Ripple's benefit or advantage? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it's coming out from all the SEC documents that just got released. With the Hinman documents came out, along with all the Ripple documents and expert testimony and all the depositions of David Schwartz and others. It's really coming out, and it's being shown that they've set up whole new programs, APIs, different programs in different ways to actually sell off large portions into the order book without manipulating the price. So what's come out is that they're trying to build liquidity without affecting price. That's the whole program for Ripple, is to distribute as much XRP as possible without dumping the price. And so did some sell orders come in on the him and email news? Absolutely. Was that from Ripple? Well, I haven't gone back and tracked the wallets. All I know is that this last month, they returned 90% of that escrow back to their escrow accounts. And if you go look at what they've been doing over the last year or two, by returning 70 or 80% of that XRP back to the escrow, it says to me that the future value of XRP is greater than today's present value, right? And then when it's come out here with the documents that they're trying to build out liquidity, build out markets, distribute the XRP so that it's not centralized with them. They want other people to hold it. They want other people to use it. They want liquidity built out. They want more on-ramps and off-ramps, right? We already have tremendous success taking place with over 70 payout markets. It's great. Great. You know, hundreds of banks already publicly working with Ripple, and the NDAs are about to get unleashed. The veil will be lifted over there in regards to the NDAs and the thousands of banks that are going to be using XRP on the back end. That's going to be coming after the case concludes, right? But what you're seeing right here is the window of opportunity closing rather quickly, and we know that the supply shock is incoming for XRP. Now, when I say trillions, I get excited. Like I always say, when I'm looking to invest into a crypto, I'm looking for $1 trillion problems. $1 trillion problems turn me on, okay? Not these little use cases. We need to solve some big boy problems. And when we talk trillions, right, a lot of people think that that's crazy, right? We hit 3 trillion for the overall market cap of crypto last bull run. That was impressive. That was fun. That was a good time, right? But when you listen to folks like Craig DeWitt, I'm about to show you a clip. This is going to quadrillions, guys, which you can't even wrap your mind around that, right? You can't even write that out. Some of you probably can't even spell it, right? But that's what we're talking about. Utility NFTs on the XRP ledger beyond art, way beyond art. As we've been saying from the very beginning, the NFTs of memes and pixelated apes and pictures and nonsense, that was all a joke. That was all fun. That was testing out the tech. Well, now that we know that the tech works, right, you're about to see bonds and FX contracts lend themselves perfectly to NFTs. This one shared here by Crypto Eddie. I want to share this one. She got an interview here with Craig DeWitt. That is fantastic. Let's take a listen in on this one, folks.
And we see the forefront at NFTs being beyond just art, which I think is cool, but is small in comparison to what NFTs can actually accomplish. And that is, we make it easy for people to take these NFTs and to get utility out of them. Because I've been saying it from day one, even working on the XRP ledger, utility matters. And it matters the same thing when you're talking on NFTs. It dawned on me, and I was talking to Amir, it's like, hey, there's real magic in this NFT use case. There's some serious mojo here. Mojo, another word for magic. It's like, well, how do we supersize it? How do we supersize it? How do we make it available to everyone? Well, it's called the company Supermojo. And that's where the name came from. What we built is an application layer on top of the standards that allow NFT interactions on chain, including the DEX. And then we've also built an application layer that ties together real world payments or the card payment with the kind of transactions that have to take place on XRPL. A lot of that learning, as you can imagine, comes from all the effort of building RippleNet over the years. I see a couple phases happening right now. The first phase that's really starting to come out are corporates, or that is major brands, leveraging NFTs as a way of getting closer to their customers. But when you start getting into the really important things where payments come into play, you start looking at fixed income contracts, that's debt issuance or bonds, and you start looking at some of the actual securities that power our world, our financial world today. And these are things that lend themselves very, very well to non-fungible tokens. A debt issuances, a bond issuances, for example, lend themselves perfectly to that. And if you think about it, you know, based on the amount of NFTs or coupons that you hold, payments happen programmatically on chain to those holders. There's no reconciliation there, right? It's not like you need State Street to charge a fee to custody all that. You can do it all on chain without a bunch of reconciliation. The kind of money that we're talking about for those kind of bond issuances, by the way, you're looking at trillions of dollars a year. And then you lay on FX contracts on top of it. You're talking about, and this sounds like a funny number, but on an annual basis, like quadrillions of dollars of value. And that's where I see this. That's where I see this really going, is you put all this together and you have this incredible ecosystem for commerce and finance together. And that's the beauty of where NFTs, I think, are going.
Whoa, somebody needs to tell Craig, you're not allowed to say quadrillions. You're not allowed to say quantum financial system, right? I always get in trouble, right? Not allowed to say that, Craig. Absolutely, as he talks about, when we get past the NFTs, when we get past the memes, when you start to tokenize all these assets, we got trillions upon trillions of assets under management by these firms. They're going to be looking to move it to DLT, but we literally have markets in the quadrillions of dollars. It's not a joke. It's not a meme. Folks think the same thing when you say quantum. It's not a joke. They got quantum computers working at the military intelligence level. These operations are kept really under wraps, and it's starting to get out and kind of get released a little bit more. Oh, they're working on a cute little quantum computer over here. Behind the scenes, we know that they're way ahead of the game here. The quantum technology's coming up here. You put the Starlight, Elon the Musk's, his little project was beamed down internet across the whole world, right? Low Earth orbit. You're starting to see the system go live, and the markets are valued in the quadrillions. Right. So for me, I think that people need to really understand that we're not talking about a cryptocurrency market cap. Folks talk about the overall cryptocurrency market cap going to maybe 10 trillion this next bull run. And I could see that, right? That's very conservative in my opinion, though. And that's just another start. That's just another step, right? We hit 3 trillion this last bull run. There's still almost nearly $1 trillion market cap in Bitcoin total, right? Which is very impressive. That's very cute. But next bull run, we could easily cross over that $10 trillion overall cryptocurrency market cap. And just think about this. Who's going to have clarity? While the government is still trying to not give clarity, they just sued 2 of the largest exchanges, and we're going to see what happens with all these Bitcoin ETFs. When you allow all of the money to come on to DLT technology, and then wait, there's only a few that actually work. There's only a few that actually scale. There's only a couple that are in compliance. And there's only one with absolute clarity, and that's going to be XRP after this lawsuit. Well, where does the money go, right? The path of least resistance. You go to someone who's going to hold your hand, help you along the way. That's Ripple, along with the best liquidity in the world, which is the XRP ledger. That's what Craig right there is working on, is putting all the money on the ledger. Now, you guys take a look at what Brad Garlinghouse has been putting out, right? We're close. We are so damn close. Brad Garlinghouse, most recent says this one, quote, "Always remember that to argue and win is to break down the reality of the person you are arguing against. It is painful to lose your reality, so be kind if you are right." From Haruki Murakami. Okay, that's a fantastic quote. And I think that's something we should all remember, because it relates not just to this Ripple XRP lawsuit. It relates to breaking down the whole reality. Like I started out this whole show this morning talking about how the mainstream media is finally starting to give the masses and the folks a little drip of the truth. Right? They're lifting the veil slowly. You have to understand that we're literally breaking down these folks' reality. For many of us, we've already gone through that. We're going through that currently, and it's a never-ending process for me. I'm always trying to learn more. Now, you go down some of the rabbit holes and you get to a point where you say, okay, I've seen enough. It's time for me to turn around and get out of here and maybe go pray after what I just witnessed. That's crimes against humanity that we talked about at the beginning too, right? There's other rabbit holes that show you these guys have set up something absolutely sinister to hold back innovation, to allow China's influence to overpower our markets. And it's not just for crypto. You have to go look at all of the IPOs. And actually, let me make a point on that. As you saw here in today's episode, I knew it was going to run long, so I didn't even include or share any of the new information that we have on Prometheum. So you guys have been seeing the Twitter sleuths, all the folks already in the XRP community just so over the target, exposing that whole thing. I didn't have time to cover it in today's episode, but you have to understand, that the corruption in the handover of these markets and trying to allow the China influence to take over wasn't just Bitcoin and Ethereum, isn't just taking place here with Prometheum, but it also took place with all the other IPOs that the SEC allowed to take place here in this country. Alibaba was a big one, but there's a new Netflix documentary talking about this exact thing. All sorts of Ponzi schemes and BS were shilled and literally brought forth to our 401ks, our retirement account, our pension accounts, right? The elderly folks that are just trying to make it, right? Their money dude, right? Who they call up once a year and ask, how's my portfolio? I see my statements looking good. I see my statements not looking good. And the statements were all looking good. It was all looking fantastic, right? And in the same things taking place right now with crypto that took place with the IPOs. They're allowing all this crap to take place and occur, and then they come in and squeeze and take it over, and it gets picked up for pennies on the dollar by their Wall Street buddies. It's been the plan all along, right? Now we're seeing it here. Brad Garlinghouse showing us that even though we are right, even though we do have the truth on our side, we are literally breaking down these people's reality. Same thing taking place in the crypto space as far as all the crypto kids that thought that Bitcoin was the end all be all. They think that Ethereum, the whole space is going to be built on top of Ethereum, a piece of crap chain that still doesn't work. The gas fees are ridiculous, still is centralized, becoming more centralized. It's not going to run on Ethereum. Right? And a store of value solution is fantastic. Great. Have fun with your Bitcoin. It's old technology and you do have the store of value use case. Have fun with it. That is a relatively small problem. Look at the market cap of gold. It's only at about 10 trillion. I don't know the current market cap of gold, but it's been around like 10 trillion for the most recent time here, right? That's a store of value plus utility. All sorts of other utility took gold to a $10 trillion market cap. So, maybe somebody will update Bitcoin. Maybe eventually all the Bitcoin bros will get together and update it. Or maybe the store of value use case alone will take Bitcoin to a $5-10 trillion market cap. Have fun. What I'm paying attention to is what DLT technologies can handle the quadrillions, can handle all the money. And with smart contracts and all the utility that's coming to the XRP ledger, as we've been covering here recently over the past few months, multiple amendments in the process, XRP is doing it the right way because when they update, when they amend, they trial it out. They do a very good job of trialing it out and they allow the community to approve and move it forward, right? It's not coming from the Ethereum Development Foundation that's running the whole thing from the top down, right? Mr. Vitalik Buterin from the top down and the buddies that he has. We know where that goes. Bill Hinman picking up the phone to call Vitalik before his Hinman speech. So this whole thing's getting exposed. It's a beautiful thing to see, but the crypto war is real. The corruption is real, and quadrillions coming into this space is absolutely real. So please understand that. One final news. Here we go. COMEX Silver Vault's total drop 756,000 ounces yesterday. Your registered drops 20,000 ounces. Open interest is now equal 279% of all vaulted silver and 2,797% of registered silver. Folks, this continues. Your time is running out. The window of opportunity that we talked about for XRP, for digital assets, trillions coming in, quadrillions coming in, and there's going to be a supply shock for XRP, just like we're seeing a supply shock for silver as well. I've been picking up my 1 ounces. I've been picking up my 10 ounces. I continue to pick up more. I'm watching the weekly specials that I'm seeing from my friend Andy Sheckman and his company, Miles Franklin. Great partner that we have here with this channel. But we also have a partner to help you roll over your 401k retirement accounts as well. Because we've been talking about the setup here that's taking place. You're starting to see it unfold. You're starting to see it accelerate. And our window of opportunity is closing out. So you can head on over to my website, take advantage of the gold, the silver deals while they're running. And then you also can get tapped into our Discord group if you're looking to join us over there as well. Okay, it feels amazing to be back in the studio out of the 100-degree plus humidity in Dallas. God bless those folks down in Texas. Amazing people. Huge shout out to all the Discord members that came out to Texas and got to see so many faces and absolutely beautiful opportunities coming our way, folks. Cannot wait. And so God bless all of you guys, okay? But it does feel good to be back here in the studio, back to work, and had a lot to cover in this update. So I hope you guys enjoyed it a little bit longer. And we're going to run up another session here, probably later today, actually, right? This just happening so quickly. We're moving and, taking action every single day. And I hope that you guys get tapped in and come along with us. Okay. So with that being said, if you guys can do me a big favor, let's smash that thumbs up on the way out. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our content. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Please do. We got a lot of people watching, but haven't subscribed yet. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss our updates, random live shows at 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm still running on Dallas time, so I was up at like 4:30 this morning. So we're back. We're rocking and rolling. Quadrillions are coming in. Get it while you can. I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you all. Thank you so much.